The Chicago Bears have a very good problem, and today's episode of Keek on the Mic starts right now.
Cali, the Chi-Town is Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the Mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Happy Victory Monday to every single one of you guys, and as always, after every single Chicago Bears win, it's time to throw your claws up.
In your mom, get to the bed.
Bears fans, throw your claws up. Midway monsters, yeah, we all up. Bear down, that's for all us. Let me see you do your thing, throw your claws up. Bears fans, throw your claws up. Midway monsters, yeah, we all up. Bear down, that's for all us. Let me see you do your thing, throw your claws up. NFC North, we the hardest in our section. When you hear that bear down, you better get the stepping. Light it up with us, you gon' think we use them hit sticks. Feel like Jalen Johnson take this beat for a pick six. Cali, the Chi-Town is Bears on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the Mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes. Matt Forte, Walter Payton. They sweat me like I'm Tez, cause I'm all pro in the making. So tell me why they hating. We about to take over, they gon' feel what I'm saying. We really back and we ripped off the script. Feeling like Hester when I pop off these kicks. They just mad they ain't pop off like this. We are the Bears and you know what it is. Oh yeah, Bears fans, throw your claws up. Midway monsters, yeah, we all up. Bear down, that's for all us. Let me see you do your thing, throw your claws up. Bears fans, throw your claws up. Midway monsters, yeah, we all up. Bear down, that's for all us. Let me see you do your thing, throw your claws up.
So the Chicago Bears get it done again by beating the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 31-28. And Bears fans, I have so much pride right now in this football team. And I'll say it first and foremost, Chicago Bears fans deserve this. After years and years and years of all the ugly losses and what we had to deal with during this rebuild, it's so cool to see a very good football team in Chicago. I personally feel that it's good for the National Football League when the Chicago Bears are good, because that means the Chicago Bears fan base is all in and they know that they're going to make a whole bunch of money on Bears fans when the Bears are good. So the Chicago Bears beat the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 31-28 to move to 8-3. They are now third in the NFC playoff picture. They retain the top spot in the NFC North, and the Chicago Bears get it done once again despite not having Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Noah Sewell. Ruben Hippolyte got injured during the game. Tyreek Stevenson got injured during the game. Dominique Robinson got injured during the game, and the Chicago Bears still found a way to win. So for everyone out there saying, hey, you guys only beat Mason Rudolph, oh, this, you guys got lucky, oh, this and that. Miss me with that stuff. The Chicago Bears were banged up big time on the defensive side of the football, and they still found a way to win. No excuses. And at the end of the day, what are they going to say now? Every single week, there's a different excuse about the Chicago Bears. Can we finally give the Chicago Bears just an ounce of credit? Going into this football game, whether it was with Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers, the big narrative was, hey, the Chicago Bears have yet to be a winning football team. All their wins come against teams that only have 2 wins or 3 wins. They're losing football teams. Guess what? The Chicago Bears beat a Pittsburgh Steelers team that, let me mind you, were first place in the AFC North going into this football game. And once again, with all these injuries, the Chicago Bears found a way to win. And Bears fans, this is my message once again to you guys. When we found out that all 3 of our starting linebackers were going to be out for this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you guys were acting like Chicken Little, like the sky was falling. I then made a video that said, hey, let's relax it a little bit. Let's see what AO can do. Let's see what DeMarco Jackson can do. Let's see what Ruben Hippolyte can do. And let's trust Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen. There were still a whole lot of you guys that were running around like Chicken Little, the sky was falling. And look what happened, Bears fan. Dennis Allen called a masterful game. Huge shout out to DeMarco Jackson. Huge shout out to AO that wasn't even supposed to play until Ruben Hippolyte went out with the injury. He came in and had 14 huge tackles for the Chicago Bears. Dennis Allen is a mastermind in terms of the defense side of the football. Of course, you have Nashawn Wright, and we'll talk about him a little bit later on today's episode of Keek on the Mic. Huge shout out to Ben Johnson, called a great game. Caleb Williams had a great game. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But once again, trust your coaching staff. This is no longer the Matt Eberflus or Matt Nagy-led Chicago Bears. These are not the same old Bears. This is the Ben Johnson-led Chicago Bears. This is the Dennis Allen-led Chicago Bears. Now, the Chicago Bears have a very good problem on their hands. So, Bears fans, next time, just have a little bit more faith. I know we were a little bit nervous about what was going to happen. You didn't know what was going to happen in this game. But next time, just have a little bit more faith in your Chicago Bears. To all the haters, you guys can miss me with all the hate on the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are 8-3. They beat a good team. They have yet another opportunity against the Philadelphia Eagles. And if they do beat the Eagles on Friday, on the Black Friday game, the Chicago Bears have the opportunity to not only retain the top spot in the NFC North, but they have the opportunity to be the second place team in the NFC playoff picture, right behind the Los Angeles Rams. This has been so far a great season for the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson, in 1 year as the Bears head coach, has flipped the culture. Everyone is bought in, and just yet another masterful performance by the Chicago Bears to get a huge win over, to me, a very good Pittsburgh Steelers team. So once again, the Chicago Bears have a very good problem on their hand, Bears fans. First and foremost, with all the injuries, they still found a way on the defense side of the football to get takeaways, and it's once again led by Nashawn Wright. We have to remember about Nashawn Wright. He was on the Vikings practice squad just last year. He got cut. Now he is tied with Bears safety Kevin Byard with 5 interceptions, which leads the league this season in interception. Wright was given the opportunity due to injuries to our secondary, but now he deserves the right to be a long-term starter on the Chicago Bears defense. There's been a lot of questions that, hey, when Jalen Johnson comes back, what are the Chicago Bears going to do? Are they going to go with Tyreek Stevenson and Jalen Johnson? Are they going to go with Nashawn Wright and Jalen Johnson? What are the Bears going to do? And I personally feel, as a Bears fan, that Nashawn Wright has earned the opportunity to be the starter alongside Jalen Johnson. He has been outstanding all year long. He is a true ball hawk threat to opposing offenses. He has shown it time and time again that he can take away the football and continuously makes big plays for the Chicago Bears defense. Yet again, made an outstanding one-handed interception on Mason Rudolph, intended for DK Metcalf along the left sideline. He has just been outstanding for the Chicago Bears. But once again, the Chicago Bears now have a very good problem in the secondary, especially when Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon comes back. You think about Terrell Smith that's on the IR, Zoff Frazier that's on the IR. The Chicago Bears are going to have a very good problem in regards to the secondary. Let's talk about Caleb Williams and how he played. Outside of that terrible strip sack fumble on TJ Watt in the end zone that led to 7 Pittsburgh Steelers points, Caleb Williams bounced back in a big way. He went 19 for 35, 239 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, 104.3 passer rating. He also had 4 rushes for 21 yards. Now this season for Caleb Williams, he has 2,568 passing yards, which is 10th in the National Football League. He has 16 passing touchdowns, which is 15th in the National Football League, and only 4 interceptions. That's the one thing I can say about Caleb Williams. He may have some times where he's a tad bit inaccurate. Maybe he throws behind guys or a little bit ahead of guys, but Caleb Williams really does a good job of protecting the football. Once again, outside of that sack that he took in end zone and fumbled and led to Pittsburgh Steelers points, he really locked in and kept the football out of harm's way and was a huge reason why the Chicago Bears got a huge 31-28 win over the Steelers. I am locked in on Caleb Williams as the franchise quarterback moving forward. And I think that was the big thing going into the season that the Bears wanted to figure out, that, hey, is Caleb Williams the franchise quarterback for the future? And is Ben Johnson the head coach of the future? And can that marriage work between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams? I think we know by now that that relationship is working at a very high level. And remember, Ben Johnson has said time and time again during press conferences that he expects Caleb Williams and this Bears football team to be playing their best football in December, which to me is absolutely outstanding because the Chicago Bears offense and this team is still not really fully clicking, and they put up 31 points yesterday. So just imagine when Caleb Williams and his Bears offense officially clicks at the highest level possible. This is going to be one of the most dangerous offenses for years to come in the National Football League. So huge shout out to Caleb Williams and the way that he played yesterday in a big win over the Steelers. And I, of course, have to give a huge shout out to Montez Sweat as well. With all the injuries on the back end, and especially in the linebacking core yesterday, I was begging the defensive line, especially Montez Sweat, to really step up in a big way. And Montez Sweat really answered the call. 2 sacks, forced fumble, a fumble recovery, almost had a 3rd sack on Mason Rudolph. Not sure how Rudolph got out of that sack, but a big day for Montez Sweat, and he has really been heating up over the last couple weeks. He now has 7.5 sacks, 11th in the National Football League. He also has 3 forced fumbles on the season. So Montez Sweat has really turned it on for the Bears defensive line the last couple of weeks. And once again, the Bears have a very good problem because they're winning football games. They are currently 8-3, first place in the NFC North, currently the 3rd place team in the NFC playoff picture. And we are still without Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, TJ Edwards, Tremaine Edmonds, Noah Sewell. And the Bears are probably set to get Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon and maybe TJ Edwards back this week against the Philadelphia Eagles. So Bears fans, enjoy the moment. If you are still one of those Bears fans that are nitpicking every little thing that Caleb Williams does, or nitpicking everything that the Bears defense does, or just nitpicking the Chicago Bears in general about winning, you guys really need to get a life and just enjoy the ride. Enjoy being a Chicago Bears fan, because at the end of the day, you should never apologize for winning in the National Football League. Ben Johnson, only in 1 year, only half a year at that, has created a new culture here in Chicago. He has created a winning culture here in Chicago. So enjoy the 8-3 record. I do think the Chicago Bears can compete with these teams against the Eagles, against the 49ers, against the Green Bay Packers, against the Lions. So let's go and see if they can go get another huge win on Friday against the Eagles. I cannot wait to see how this Bears team stacks up against one of the best teams in the NFC. So Bears fans, give me your initial reaction over the Chicago Bears' big win against the Steelers. And as always, comment claws up down below in the comment section. But as always, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears that you know. But other than that, be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it.